All right, my Cancer friends, how are you today? Michael Eschenburg here, Honest Dame, bringing you your monthly horoscope for March of 2020. If you're new to the channel, please check it out. We've got daily horoscopes every single day that dive deeper into these aspects that I'm going to be talking about now, and as I'm going to condense them into one video. And then the dailies kind of expand upon these. So right off the gate, right, we've got Venus in your 10th house. Okay, beautiful place for Venus to be in the sign of Aries. You know, it's fast, it's forward momentum, it's moving, you know, it's accelerating. It's with your heart, with what you love, your love, want, and desires. You know, so this is about career. All right, now Venus has been there in your 10th house, and it's squaring Saturn over there in your 7th house of partnerships. It's an interesting place for that to be, as Saturn is in your 10th, or Saturn is in your 7th house, saying, let's solidify this. Let's make this partnership last. Let's make this very real. I'm very excited for my Cancer friends. Now, again, how I read this horoscope, this definitely deals more with the Cancer rising than the Cancer sun. If you know your sun sign, please check that out. So this is for Cancer rising, then Cancer moon, then Cancer sun. This still plays an effect, but again, it's more deals with your rising sign. That being said, so for my Cancer rising friends, whatever's going on in your partnerships, you know, this is about solidifying and making them very, very, very real. Okay, so now you have like this bit of torn energy between Venus saying, well, I love, want, and desire this, and this is where I want to go with my career, and I'm being anchored back here in a relationship. You know, so this is going to create a little bit of tension right off the gate in the month, at the beginning of March. You know, so how you deal with that is up to you. Then on the 4th, it gets a little bit better as Venus is going to enter your 11th house. Okay. So this is about community. So we're going from a place of like career to a place of community, you know, where it's not so much focused on yourself in the sense of how I'm being viewed to the world. Am I being held back by my partner, or is my partner aiding and helping me out to achieve this? You know, this is like, all right, this nice little shift here of love, wants, and desires into the sign of Taurus. Venus is moving home to the sign of Taurus. Okay, a very favorable place for her to be. Home, you know, it's about money, it's about the things that you love as well as the people that you love. And in this place, in your 11th house, dealing with community, the individuals that you love, the individuals that you want to work with, the individuals you want to play with, the individuals you want to be around, right? Spring is near around the corner. So this is a really great place for Venus to be, especially home in the sign of Taurus and in the 11th house. Okay, on the 4th, Mercury enters Aquarius. So it's been retrograde since the 17th of February. Okay, so from the 2nd all the way till the 17th, I think, it moved through its shadow, and now it's moving backward from Pisces into Aquarius, which is moving from your 11th house. It's moving from your 9th house into your 8th house. Okay, Aquarius is your 8th house. So let me show you the chart here just to show you what this looks like. So Mercury's here right now. Okay, so I've got this set for March 3rd. Did you see that square Venus, square Saturn? Mercury here on March 3rd. And then on the 4th, Mercury enters Aquarius, your 8th house, shared resources. Okay, so maybe whatever tension came up here gets kind of sorted out as Mercury goes back here. So you got to remember, where were you in January? Okay, what were you thinking about? What were you talking about in January, especially toward the end of January, the end of February? Okay, or the end of January, beginning of February, when Mercury was first in this area. Okay. So this is becoming revisited. There's something, you know, some more lessons to learn here, especially dealing with this partnership kind of energy that's going on, as you have so much here. Okay. Venus enters Taurus. All right. Venus is going to start to conjunct Uranus. Okay. So there's instability with love. Okay, and in your 11th house, you know, rocky relationships, rocky friendships, perhaps, you know, or some sort of, you know, breakthrough on one end it's rockiness, on the other end is like, oh my goodness, I'm so excited to have met you. I'm so excited. I just went on a little vacation and I met, people both on the way to my destination, sitting next to me on the plane, and the way coming home, that are just like new friends for life, and it's just like in this boom, in this kind of instance, this happens. So Venus entering your 11th house, expect the unexpected. Either whether that's, again, meeting and creating new friends, or friends falling apart, expect either one of those two. On the 8th, we have the sun is going to conjunct Neptune here at 18 degrees. Okay, this is really cool, happening in your 9th house. So my Cancer friends, you've got a lot of knowledge, a lot of learning that's coming your way right now. Okay, so having faith in yourself, in your imagination, having faith in your dreams, using your dreams as a guide to you right now, using this creative energy, this untapped resource, this untapped, not to deal with the physical reality. This is your intuition, your insight coming into you, right? And in your 9th house of travel and knowledge, and again, faith in oneself, faith in one's journey. So this is a really beautiful connection to have. This only happens once a year, and Neptune is only home in its own sign of Pisces for 16 years, and we're halfway through that cycle. So this is still a very magical time, this once a year, when this does happen for you. On the 9th now, Mercury is going to station direct here at 28 degrees in your 8th house. Okay, we kind of talked about that a moment ago. As well, on the 9th, we have a full moon in the sign of Virgo, which is your 3rd house. Okay, so there's a lot of new information coming up to you. There's something dealing with siblings. Maybe you need to start paying attention to your family. What's going on with your brothers and sisters? What's going on with knowledge? There's two sides to every argument. There's two sides to every coin. There's two sides to everything. And in the sign of Virgo, things are very analytical, straightforward, and there's a right and a wrong. So there's a laser beam kind of focus when we're dealing with the sign of Virgo. Okay, what is going on right now that's highlighting what information do I need to be focused on? Okay, so the moon illuminating my emotional needs. The sun, my ego self, up there in the 9th house. Having faith in my journey, having faith in myself, having faith in knowledge. Okay, so this is a higher sense of knowledge and illuminating the sense of everything. Does that make sense? So there might be a right or wrong way in our brains. And then when we can look at this, how is something handled? How is something handled? We can look at it like this. If you've ever had a relationship where somebody had not healed from their past, okay? If someone had not healed from their past and they projected that onto you in the present, and that pushed you away, okay, this is a domino cause and effect, okay? Now, I'm not saying that this is currently happening, I'm just saying this is an example. So if somebody in the past was projecting their previous relationship onto you, right, and that made you walk away, the person that you walked away from might think that you were unstable, that you walked away from them, not realizing their own shadow, saying, oh, this was from my own doing. This is from something that I had done, right? This is my information that I was neglecting to see at the time had pushed this person away. They didn't just leave me for no reason. They probably did truly care about me. Or vice versa, looking at you walking away from them also created a ripple into their life. So looking at both sides of the coin and all of the information, this Virgo full moon is going to be very, very, very powerful and going to bring a lot of insight and information your way, especially because we're not going to hit Virgo season and there's no major planets in the sign of Virgo for quite some time. This brings a good amount of insight and focused energy, which is really, really cool. So that happens on the 9th. Then on the 10th, Mercury finally completes its retrograde cycle, okay, and starts to move forward again at the 28 degrees of Aquarius. And so for you, that is your 8th house, 28 degrees of Aquarius. So this is about shared resources, who you're partnering up with, who you are going into business with, who you are or joining, who are you joining? What information is coming with the way? What information is coming through? Who are you talking to with people that you're linking arm in arm with. This doesn't necessarily have to deal with romantic relationships, but more business relationships. Or if you are in a romantic relationship, you know, maybe we talked about joining bank accounts or joining homes or joining forces in some way or another back in January, beginning of February, and now it's coming full circle again, and we're revisiting this conversation. Yeah. So that happens on the 10th. Then on the 11th, we have the Sun is going to sextile Jupiter. Okay, so the Sun here in your 9th house, going to create a sextile to Jupiter. Jupiter's only in Capricorn once every 12 years. So this particular connection that does happen every year, you know, it happens on both sides, right? It'll happen here in Pisces, then it'll happen over here in the sign of Scorpio. Okay, but this only happens with Jupiter in Capricorn once every 12 years. So it's honoring this particular placement of intuition into practicality, from insight and information into practical relationships. Okay, so it's like taking some of that full moon knowledge, okay, taking what you're walking away from with this, looking at how you affected the past, how the past has affected your present, and all of the above, you know, which is also creating a trine over here to Jupiter, okay, that full moon well. Anyway, you know, this deals with your partnerships. So the Sun here in 9th house, travel and knowledge and information, dealing with Jupiter and expansion. Just like, look, if you're in a committed partnership, this is excellent, because you're able to like tap in and really expand beyond what you thought was possible with your current partner. If you're not in a partnership and you're seeking one out, this is a very favorable time. As Venus is going to move to your 11th house, you're going to be very sociable with the community. All the connections that the Sun is going to have with Jupiter, then with Pluto, then with Saturn, one almost after another at the end of this month. So the first one is Jupiter, Sun sextile Jupiter, expansion. Ego self, tapping into my highest self. Okay, it's not just about what Aaron needs, but it's the higher sense of Aaron, you know, or you for this example, higher sense of what you need, you know, and aligning with that partner, right? And being able to expand your relationship beyond what you thought was possible. Then the Sun's going to hit a sextile Pluto. What is this going to be? On the 22nd? No. The 14th. Sorry, I'm jumping way ahead. So the 11th is Sun sextile Jupiter. Then on the 14th, Sun sextile Pluto. Okay, so within that week is going to be very, very powerful, because it's expansive and transformative. And again, with Mercury being direct, we're dealing with a lot of communication that's coming in from insight, a lot of stuff from the higher self, higher knowledge, that's going to be able to add to this. Again, with that full moon, being able to pinpoint the little, you know, the things in between that we might not have paid attention to in the past. This is going to help, again, benefit you in your relationships and bring them to new heights, okay? So then Mercury on the 16th enters the sign of Pisces, okay? Going from your 8th house back into your 9th house, okay? Learning information, learning to trust yourself, learning to be formless, learning to communicate without an agenda, communicate without a list, to communicate not behind email where you can protect every single sentence and word, you know, like you can frame everything out. I mean, the Cancer energy wants to be constructive, and as well as like a bit of hiding, you know. Cancer, the water sign, likes to hide a bit. So it's like, if I can hide behind this screen and type in, you know, this information to just put it all out there, that might be the easiest way for the Cancer energy to do it. Where this energy that's being guided right now, or being given to us, is saying like, look, you got to trust your intuition. You got to trust bouncing the ball of conversation, bouncing the ball of communication, and not just being in a safe space and typing something out in an email or in Messenger or WhatsApp or whatever it may be, but really, you know, being playful in communication and open. open to receiving the information and allowing it to flow through you. Okay, back to this chart here. So on the 20th, the sun, yay, is finally going to enter Aries. Okay, spring is here, the birds are singing, all right, the trees are growing leaves, the flowers are blossoming, all right, and that means this is entering your 10th house, again, of career, public image. So there's a new opportunities for work coming your way, which is very, very exciting, right? As well, the sun's going to connect with Chiron here. That's going to happen on the 25th, all right? So the sun's going to enter on the 20th and the 25th, 24th, 25th. Sun's going to conjunct Chiron. And that's about healing, you know? And that's going to create a square to the nodes, okay, the north and the south node. The north node being home in your sign, saying, look, you know, you got to be caring. You know that, you're a Cancer. You got to be nurturing. You got to be empathetic, you know. So the sun connecting with Chiron, there's something that deals with a career as well as dealing with partnership, okay? Almost revisiting what we had at the beginning of the month on the 3rd, right? So when the south node is right here, I don't have it pulled up in the chart, but it's here at 4 degrees. Okay, so the sun conjunct Chiron, Chiron's sun square to the south node. This is a really beautiful time, Cancer, to let go of something that happened in a relationship, to let go of something that's going on in a current relationship, or something that happened in a past relationship that you've been harboring, right? That water energy, any of the water energies can really harbor. You know, they're either warm and bubbly and hot, or they're frozen over and can be quite cold. So this is time to thaw out, to look at the other information that's come your way, and to apply that to self and release and let go. All right. On the 20th, also, Mars is going to conjunct Jupiter. Now, Jupiter, again, takes 12 years to go around. Mars here takes 2 years to go around. So these two don't always get to meet up in the sign of Capricorn. The exciting thing about this is Mars is actually exalted in the sign of Capricorn. Okay, so what that means is it's its happiest place to be. Where Jupiter, it's confined and constricted by Saturn. Okay, it's limited within the sign of Saturn or Capricorn because of Saturn's job. You know, its job is to constrict. So Jupiter wants to expand and say more and more and more. You know, and Mars says, yeah, let's go through this. Let's take this and to action, you know? So it's like I'm seeking out relationship, or I'm taking my relationship to the next level. I'm willing to do whatever I need to do to make my relationship last. You know, that's the beauty about Capricorn energy as well, is this is like commitment. You know, this isn't flaky energy. So whatever's going on in the love department right now, whatever's going on with your partnerships in general, this energy is going to last, and this is going to expand the month of March, you know, beyond what we thought was once possible. So that's extremely exciting. On the 22nd, Saturn finally leaves its home sign of Capricorn and enters Aquarius, again, your 8th house. So this is about shared resources. Okay, so this is again either joining, you know, revisiting some of that energy from the top of the month. Are you, or revisiting the conversations from back in January, beginning of February, end of January, back of February, right? So now Saturn's going to enter Aquarius, which in old astrology, Saturn ruled Capricorn and Aquarius. So it's a very comfortable place for Saturn to be. And in your 8th house, this is like, I'm going to solidify. I'm finding my tribe. If I am entering into a serious relationship, this is possible moving in together, right? If you're already in a relationship, this is joining bank accounts. This is, you know, this is growing. This is deepening. This is combining what was mine, what is yours together. Okay, so it's a very exciting time. On the 22nd, 23rd, Mars is now going to conjunct Pluto. Okay, again in your 7th house. There's so much lovely energy happening in your 7th house. I say this every month, but it's true. You know, like this is once in a lifetime kind of stuff. You're only going to have Pluto in Capricorn once. You know, this doesn't come around every year. I mean, this has been going on for the past, 12, 13 years? But it takes 244 years for Pluto to go around the sun. So you're never going to have Pluto in your 7th house again. So the lessons of learning of transforming your relationships is for the better. You know, the hard times, the good times are all leading to greater times. And Mars saying, yes, let's go through with this. Let's expand, let's transform. Let's do whatever we have to do to make this work, okay? Because we're talking about commitment here. Okay, so it's very, very exciting energy. And again, if you're not looking for romance, that's partnerships somewhere in life. That's partnerships with something, with someone. Okay, that's just the nature of how this works. So it doesn't have to be a romantic relationship. And if you're already in a loving romantic relationship, it's wonderful. That means it's going to deepen, strengthen, and again, you're going to take it from level 8 to level 11 this month. Okay, truthfully. On the 24th, we've got a new moon at 5 a.m. in the sign of Aries, which is your 10th house of career, public image, how people view you. And this might play along the lines as well. This is going to be, squaring the nodes, this new moon. So you might also have this energy of self, other career. You know, how does this all work? Does my partner aid and bring me up and make me look better? Most likely, yes. You know, that's something that's very positive that's going on right now. And Aries, new moon, again, sign of spring, new sign of love, new sign of all of these things coming together, warmth and all the warm, ooey gooey good feelings happening inside. So it's a very positive time that's going on the 24th. And the 25th, we talked about Sun conjunct Chiron. On the 27th and 28th, now here it gets even better. Okay, here it gets even better. Let me show you why. All right, because Venus is going to enter your 11th house of community, right? Friendships, social, technology as well, but social community. So Venus at the end of the month, on the 27th, is going to make a trine to Jupiter in your partnership home. So if you've been seeking a relationship, right? If you're seeking a relationship here, when Venus, which you love, want, and desire, it's like what's happening here is, okay, so on the 27th it conjuncts Jupiter, or trines Jupiter. On the 28th it trines Pluto. So what this is saying is like, if you follow your heart, if you follow and do what you love to do, you're going to be around other people that also love to do what they love to do, okay? And in doing so, you're going to find people that you're going to harmonize with, that you're going to resonate with, and that you're going to create relationships with. Again, whatever those relationships may be, that's up to you and the other individual. But this is a great time to seeking out and making new friends, and it's getting out. Sometimes the Cancer energy wants to hibernate. Well, it's just like, well, now, it's springtime is here. The energy is encouraging us to get out, to be sociable, to be social butterflies, and to meet new friends. And even if we're going to events alone, which is something that's wonderful to do. If your one friend's just like, no, I don't want to go out tonight, and you're like, I really do. It's like, follow those urges, follow those instincts. Again, Mercury is going to be in Pisces, which is about using your intuition. It might not make sense. Everything might not make sense, but it's using your intuition to guide you through this. And being in your 9th house of knowledge and information and, trust and faith, it's a great time to trust yourself, to get out there. And on the 27th to 28th is going to be very powerful connections will be made. Guaranteed. All right. Then the 30th, Mercury leaves its shadow. Okay, finally enters new territory in the sign of Pisces. It moves to 13 degrees and beyond, and it won't be until April when it's finally out of the sign of Pisces. We'll talk about that more next month. Then Mars enters the sign of Aquarius on the 30th. Okay, sign of Aquarius. Again, we're going from your 7th house to your 8th house. And then on the 31st, Saturn and Mars conjunct. Okay. Again, that only happens once every 2 years or so when that, this conjunction. And again, in your 8th house. So really solidifying, really making it very real on the people that you're spending time with, or your work, or I'm good at this, you're good at this, let's join forces and let's create a business together, or let's move in together, or let's whatever is going on, my Cancer friends. So as always, I mean, that is in a nutshell the month of March. Again, check out the dailies as we're going to dive so much deeper into this. If you haven't already subscribed, I always appreciate that. Leave a comment if you know what's going on. If any of this resonates with you, I always appreciate the feedback. So thank you so much for hanging out with me. Have a beautiful, beautiful, expansive month ahead. Very, very exciting energy coming your way, and we'll see you tomorrow.